Hi everyone. In today's video, I thought I'll give you a demo of how you can plant assorted succulent pot. For starters, these are some of the things that you require. You need a succulent planter. Right now, with a succulent planter, depending on the size or the number of plants that you have, these planters are available in different sizes. Most succulents have roots that spread around, but they are not very deep. So you need a broad planter with a wider width rather than a deep planter. So that's one thing to remember when it comes to succulents. So now if you look at this planter, the planter must have good drainage holes. Okay, now if you see this has got drainage holes here, it's got drainage holes from here, etc. A lot of people prefer to grow succulents in ceramic pots or baskets which don't have drainage holes, and that's one of the biggest reasons why your succulents can rot. So having drainage holes is extremely important for succulents. Now what I also have is a mulch cloth. It could be anything, or you can even use some gravel and stones, etc., just to cover the drainage holes. And why do we do that? This is to ensure that when the soil dries up, if you don't have any kind of layer to protect it, the soil will just start coming from the bottom. Okay, especially given that with succulents, we use very loose soil, it can just come down from the bottom. That's why you just can use any kind of cloth. This typically is available in nurseries. It's called a mulch cloth. I use it. The advantage of this is it keeps the soil in, but it lets the water out. Okay, so even if you pour in water in this, it will nicely go down, but the soil will still be inside. So you need the mulch cloth, you need the planter, you need your soil mix. It could be pure succulent mix. It could be a mix of different kinds of succulent. This one is an organic mix which has some vermicompost, lots of sand, etc. Any kind of loose soil that when you put water into it doesn't completely clump together is the kind of mix that you're looking for succulents. You can even go the route of cocoa coir, cocoa husk, etc. But don't use too much of coconut products because they do retain a lot of moisture. And for succulents, you need soil that can quickly dry off. Of course, the next step is to get the plants that you require, succulents, all the succulents that you need to put into the planter. Have some which are of trailing type, some which are rosettes, echeverias, haworthias, all mixed together. Don't put succulents and non-succulents together because since the watering requirements might vary between plants, you might have some plants doing really well versus some plants that dry a lot faster if you use plants that are not the same watering schedule. So that's important when you are planting these plants to ensure that you have plants of the same water requirements. They don't have to be from the same family at all. For instance, I'm mixing up the kalanchoe here with the echeverias. That's fine. This is a senecio. This is fine. This is a cactus, gasteria, okay, a green spoon here. So you're mixing different categories of families, that's okay, but they all have similar water requirements. I also have some cinnamon powder I use as a fungicide. I also have some slow release fertilizer which I may or may not use depending on how good my soil mix is. And then I have some neem cake pongomia mix here, which again I may or may not use. And then of course you always need some paper towels handy in case of a mess, and scissors. Okay, I also have some stones here which you can use to decorate your planter. So this is the setup that you will require when you want to create an assorted succulent basket. Let's start. So as starters, I have the planter with a drainage hole. I have just covered it, cut this one to the right size and covered it with this mulch cloth. Okay, the next step is to put my soil mix. I will use this soil. So if you look at the grittiness of the soil, this will never come together. Even if you put water in, it will not come together. That is a kind of mix. And I'm mixing that with some more vermicompost kind of soil. Okay, now you're adding the soil mix. So one thing to note is that if you see, I have not put the soil right on up to the top. We don't need the soil to be extremely full till the top for the plants. You can have a soil mix which is almost half or a little more than half. I'm going to add a little more of this. So I'm done. So one of the things you can do, if you're not comfortable with your nails getting dirty, etc., you can always use gloves. Okay, somehow I like the touch and feel of the soil. Now I'm ready for this. One quick tip on this one. I prefer to give these plants a chance to grow in their current media. So what I normally do is, this is a good tip. What you can do is, you can just lay your pots in it this way, or at least create the space. I have one central spot here. You don't have a pot, but then this one can go right in the center. I also have this one here, and remove all the extra leaves, things that you don't require any additional. So if you see, this leaf is looking a little weird, so you can remove all of those leaves. So normally if I'm removing extra leaves, what I also do is I like to just give it a brushing with the cinnamon powder. Okay, take the entire thing in and put it in here. Okay. You notice I'm not removing any of the original soil of the plant, right? I'm just removing the plant, the entire thing as is, completely, and just tossing it in the holes. That is the easiest way to avoid the transplant shock for these plants. Otherwise, if you try and fiddle around with their roots, etc., they might some time to get over the shock, as well as they will take some time to develop new roots. So the easiest way is to just put them into the soil without shocking them too much. Okay, now I have one cute little humulus here. Fellow spreads quite a bit. Okay. And then look at the color schema, right? I mean, it's all about your gut and how do you want to put it together, what kind of colors do you. So I'm just keeping a little bit of the colorful ones this side, keeping the two whites here. There's another small little white here. Okay, another tip is not to overcrowd them. Each of these needs to grow in its own spot. I'm kind of thinking that this might be too close, but that's okay. Okay. If you see, I'm not taking too much of effort to dig a hole and then put them. I'm just letting them be and allowing them to find their own space. You can put it in here too. This is called the brain cactus, because if you look at the top, it looks like a brain. Okay. Maybe these two cacti will do well in this. Okay, so I think I'm happy with this arrangement. I need to keep a track of this. Maybe at some point I might want to remove this green spoon from this setup into a different pot. But otherwise they look quite happy. One thing that I can do is add, just to add a little bit of dimension, I can add some stones. Okay. Colored stones. These are not your, they're literally like your gray stones. Now an arrangement like this in the market will cost you nothing less than 1500 to 2000 bucks, or even more, depending on the size of the arrangement as well as the kind of succulents that are used in this. Now by buying the succulents yourself or propagating them from leaves and having these small size succulents in, you can easily create this. The only thing that you will be spending will be on the raw materials, but you can easily create this for maybe 1/4 the price. That way, so maximizing what you already have at home is the best way to do. And this is a fantastic gift. You can, like, now is the Secret Santa season, you can put some ornaments in here, or you can put colored stones to add a different dimension. You can have succulents of the same similar variety. Like, I think I had a video up about blue succulents, so you can kind of have the same color theme, or you can have succulents of the same family. Maybe you only want to grow echeverias or haworthia assorted pots, or you want to have all your senecios in one pot. You can, the sky is the limit when it comes to your creativity. You can even make a fairy garden in this. If you have fairy garden ornaments, you can actually create a small little stream, or you can probably have bridge. Now you get lovely ornaments for fairy gardens, so you can actually create your own theme. You can mix and match with different layers. You could probably have a lower layer and put something else, and create a higher elevated layer and put something else there, etc. I'm not going to put it into direct sun right now. I'll take about 7 to 10 days for this to just lie around like this in the shade. And once they are rooted, or they kind of settle in here, I will water this entire collection, I mean all of them, very thoroughly till the water comes down from the drainage holes properly. And then I will put it in sunniest part of my balcony, and there they will thrive, and suddenly you'll find them getting more leaves, and they'll get bigger over time. So if I show you after 6 months, this pot will look absolutely different. I would have removed some things that are not doing well. I would have added a new element. Each of them would have grown to a big size, and this entire pot will look crowded. So it's simple to create a assorted succulent basket like this. And this is for those of you who like some kind of stones, etc. Please add those stones. It's all left to you how you want to decorate them. Okay, you can do without all this decoration as well. So this is the final product. I hope you liked it, and I hope you will try this with your plants and succulents at home as well. Thanks so much. Bye.